is dominating social media in the UK today. There have been around 20,000 tweets about snow days so far, and people are using the hashtag Snowmageddon to share pictures of the snow where they are, as you can see now on your screen. If you think it's cold here, conditions in the US are far more challenging, as we've been seeing. In Minneapolis, temperatures dropped to a low of minus 48 Celsius. 90 million people are now affected by temperatures below minus 17, brought on by a polar vortex. The freeze has brought Chicago to a standstill. BBC Breakfast has been speaking to some of the British expats living there to see how they're coping.
My workplace told us to stay at home, and I think about 12 people have died in the Chicago area already. So, there's a big problem with people who are sleeping rough on the streets. So, it's very serious in many respects, for sure. Fun and games aside.
Talk to me about the area you live in. Tell me what it's like. You spoke about people living rough on the streets. I know as well there was an effort in Chicago to get people into warm shelters. What about where you are?
Yeah, where I am, I'm in Logan Square, and the community's been doing a big rip around to get people coats. And there's a lot of sort of neighborly spirit that's coming out. I had some neighbors coming over asking if they could use my washing machine because their pipes had frozen. I had my landlord PJ come over and help with burst pipes. So, a lot of people have sort of brought people together that may never spoken before.
Yeah, it's really lovely to hear how communities do come together. Unfortunately, there are some characters who don't behave too well in this kind of weather. Talk to me about certain coats being stolen from people.
Yeah, not a good time to be wearing one of those Canada Goose coats. I think they're about $1,000 over here, and there have been about 8 people who have been robbed so far at gunpoint. So yeah, not great, but they are sort of magnets for just asking to be robbed.
Well, yeah, no one else to be robbed. Let's just hope people do manage to stay safe or be burgled. I understand there is some light at the end of the tunnel, isn't there, in some senses? I mean, to us it would sound really cold, 0 degrees, but perhaps almost tropical coming your way.
That's right. It's a balmy 20 right now, and I think it's going to be only about 14 or 18, minus 14, minus 18 tomorrow. So pretty good. I'll be going back into work, I think. The trains will be running, that's for sure.
Oh, it's good to talk to you, Bart. Thanks very much. And, of course, stay safe as well. Interesting, isn't it, when you say minus 14 is balmy?
I know. Let's talk to Lucy now. Lucy Paska, and she's in one of the Chicago suburbs, a little outside of Chicago, with a family. You've got a 4-year-old son and an 18-month-old as well. Morning to you, Lucy. Just explain, who's the penguin? What's going on there? And is the penguin sitting on the heater?
The penguin is sitting on the dehumidifier because I'm actually in the middle of drying out my frozen pipes. So I'm in my basement doing some maintenance. So
is that how it works? Is that a daily ritual? How does it work in practice?
Well, winters here are long and they are cold. And it's a pretty well-oiled machine to keep your house running during these winters. But I have to say, I take issue with you saying that Chicago ground to a standstill. This city runs no matter what. And the authorities woe betide them if they don't make sure that people can get to work. Most of the people I know, with the exception of school children and certain businesses like Bart's, who gave everybody the day off, have still been working. So here we are in another long winter. It takes a lot for this city to shut down, this part of the world to shut down and take a collective snow day. And I think today is one of those legendary days where it almost happened, but not quite.
Yeah, Lucy, it's a point well made, and you're probably aware we've got some snow problems here, and often you'll know this, we grind to a halt when there's, relatively little snow. So tell me a little more about the practicalities. Can the kids get to school? I mean, can you get out? How's that working?
No, I have been stuck in a house with 2 feral children for the past 72 hours. So I am very, very glad that it's going to be nice and warm and only about minus 20 tomorrow, because it means that we can get out and we can go to the indoor park, we can get out and I can take them to their clubs and their schools, and we'll get some sanity back, because really being stuck inside is absolutely no fun at all.
Oh, that's all about perspective, isn't it? Nice and warm at minus 20, she's saying. Let's take a look at what is the most read and watched on the news website, see what you're especially interested in.